To the Cotton Bowl we go, the Red River Rivalry. It's ranked Oklahoma taking on unranked Texas, and they still don't like each other. John Mateer, 17 days removed from having surgery on a broken bone in his throwing hand. He's playing. Mateer struggled against this Texas defense. They knew they had to be pesky with Mateer, who was 13 of 21, 119 yards, 2 interceptions. Again, surgery on a broken bone in his throwing hand. Oklahoma, they were up though 6-3 at halftime there at the State Fair of Texas. Down 6-3 are the Longhorns still. It's 3rd and 3, playing in the shadows. Figuratively, literally. Arch Manning rolling out. Ryan Wingo, that's an 11-yard pickup. Let's move the sticks. First down in the red zone. Couple plays later, Manning. DeAndre Moore. Randy, they don't call him
DeAndre left.
That's correct. Wide open, back of the end zone for the score. It's 10-6. The Longhorns trying to rebound from that disappointing loss in the swamp last week at the hands of Florida. It's Manning throwing a dart to Parker Livingstone. Again, the shadows playing tricks on you. Nice off-platform throw from Manning later in the same drive. It's 3rd and 7. Manning putting Travion Weiser, making one defender miss. Wisner making everybody else miss. Wisner picks up 19. It leads to a Texas field goal. They're up 13-6. We're entering now the 4th quarter. Oklahoma having to punt. Jacob Ulrich punting. Ryan Niblett just wants a little taste. Ryan Niblett, he doesn't want just a nibble, he wants the whole taste. And Niblett just sort of navigating through this special teams, and well, they weren't too special here. It's 20-6. Texas on top. An unranked Texas, they fell out of the AP top 25 after last week's loss. 4th quarter, Manning using the legs, crosses midfield. He'll do it himself. 29-yard pickup. The bigger pickup, Texas, a win in the win column, 23-6.
Good to have Heather Dinich and Paul Finebaum with us this morning on SportsCenter. Heather, this feels like a huge win for Texas, but perhaps why is it not as big a victory as we might believe?
Well, because it was the first win against a Power 4 opponent, a first win against a ranked opponent, and because Texas has the 15th most difficult schedule remaining in the country. They still have to play Vanderbilt, Georgia, and a Texas A&M team that I currently have number 4th in my latest projection. So yes, it was a huge win. It was critical to keep their playoff hopes alive. And we were able to see how well Arch Manning can play if given some time. The defense is certainly legit. That's why I didn't drop them out of my top 25 last week, guys. But they've got to keep this up and continue to put it together and play as well on offense as they have on defense against more ranked opponents down the stretch.
Heather, I agree with your premise, but I think psychologically it was bigger than that for Arch Manning. He needed something positive to happen after a brutal preseason up until the Red River. To me, this game was also about John Mateer. I'm still doubting what good he was doing in that game, considering the difficulties that he had, but he got the green light. It didn't turn out well, but I still think Oklahoma has a path back. Their schedule is extremely difficult, road games all over the place against teams like Alabama, just to name one or two. But ultimately, though, I think this game was more about Texas getting a boost and moving ahead and maybe having a shot, a narrow shot, albeit.
What do we know about this college football season 6 weeks in? Not much, honestly. Paul Finebaum here to help us see more clear. A little Paul in, Paul out. Paul, first one, Texas answered all of your concerns after yesterday's win against number 6 Oklahoma. Paul in or Paul out?
I'm in on that, although all would be a big word right here for Paul to be in. But I really was impressed with what I saw. I mean, let's just cut to the chase. The season was on the line after the debacle in Gainesville. I thought Arch Manning played very well. He's coming around. It took him till mid-season. The story here was really Mateer. There's just a lot of explanation. I would like some more explanation on exactly what the thinking was. But Arch finally used his legs. He played well. Texas's schedule is tricky, but they're doing pretty well right now.
Yeah, next week at Kentucky.
Yeah, I like that Paul went third person on that one. On the other side, Paul, OU will still make the playoffs. You Paul in or Paul out?
Now, somebody's going to accuse me of being positive here this morning, but I am still in on them. The caveat is the road schedule. They play South Carolina. I think they can navigate that, but they're also at Tennessee and at Alabama. Those are not easy places to win. I think it's self-explanatory there. They have to win the home games, mainly against Ole Miss, Missouri, and LSU. I think that's doable. Here's the interesting part. If they finish 9-3, they still might squeeze into the playoffs because of the brutal schedule, although Michigan losing yesterday does not help them. They beat Michigan early in the season.
So if I say at this point of the season, there is no clear championship favorite, are you Paul in or Paul out?
I'm out on that, and Miami fans may not like it, but I think Ohio State's the best team in the country, and they have such great fans up there. We all know that. And just look at this. To me, it's really a two-way race right now in terms of the elite teams, Ohio State, Miami, Oregon, Ole Miss. You can just mix those up 1,000 different ways. Frankly, Alabama's going to move up. They're closer to the elite level. But to me, Ohio State has been nearly flawless all year. They're the best team in the country and the favorite to win it all.
The offense has been hanging it up, but the defense might be better, allowing just 6.8 points per game this season. Paul Finebaum, thank you much. The Deep South's oldest rivalry, Cam Newton in the building, get his #1 jersey retired there at Auburn. Jackson Arnold putting the Tigers unranked. They've lost 8 straight games in this series. Cam Newton amongst the Rowdies. They're up 7-0. Second quarter, it's Arnold trying to punch it over the goal line to give Auburn a 17-0 lead just before half, and that would be sort of the knockout blow. But C.J. Allen knocks the ball loose. It's recovered by Georgia. It goes to review, and this thing fell apart. Arnold appeared to have crossed the plane before the ball was punched out. Here's Hugh Freeze, irate at the call.
Don't have no clue how that doesn't break the plane. No clue. And, we're due a break maybe one of these times.
Yeah, so instead of going up 17-0 before half, all of a sudden it's a 10-3 game. In the third quarter, Gunnar Stockton going to take full advantage. Noah Thomas, that's a 30-yard pickup to the 2-yard line. Kirby Smart after this one saying it is certainly a tale of two halves. Next play, Chauncey Bowens punches it in. So Georgia, they had a field goal. They're up 13-10. We're into the fourth quarter now. It's Arnold trying to claw his way back for these Tigers. Eric Singleton Jr. that close. Auburn only had 40 yards of offense in the second half. They had more penalty yards in this game than offensive yards in the second half. 11 penalties for 90 yards, and Stockton finding London Humphreys going to take full advantage of that. The Georgia defense allowed 0 points in the second half, the 61st time under Kirby Smart they have done that to a team.
And Rome, specifically in the SEC, a lot of people probably went to bed thinking Auburn was just handling Georgia early. What in the world happened?
Good morning, Randy. Dude, I don't know. I don't have the answer for that specifically, but I will tell you about the game. That game was crazy. Auburn completely dominated this game the whole first half until about a minute and a half in the play. Then you saw this happen right here, where the ball was punched out from the quarterback right there on the 1-yard line. Georgia recovers. They actually took it back for a touchdown, but they didn't give them that. And then all of a sudden, that literally punched the whole wind out of the sails of Auburn. They couldn't do anything in the second half offensively. I think they had a total of like 40, 50 yards. All that was in the second half. Georgia came back, dominated the game. And look, I don't have answers for what happened to Auburn, but I have to give credit to Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs once again continue to just be that tough, gritty team that never says quit, that never backs down from any other challenge. But, man, if you're an Auburn fan this morning, you are absolutely sick because you have no idea. The environment was right. The fans were lit up. Auburn was dominating the game. And then all of a sudden, second half, you have a no-show. That was a complete implosion by the Auburn Tigers last night, and that's just the honest truth.
Yeah, War Eagle waking up this morning, they still think Jackson Arnold got in at the goal line. Before you go, it is time for Romans Forum. So what's the message today?
And this is really for a lot of my SEC people out there specifically, and I'm included in that. But let me tell you something. The Indiana Hoosiers are a real football program. Look, yesterday morning I was asking people, some of my coworkers, is Indiana for real? And a lot of them didn't know. That was maybe last year, that was this. None of them said that they were going to go on the road in Oregon in Autzen Stadium yesterday and go and win that game. Not only win that game, but the fashion in which they did it, okay? They out-physicaled Oregon on both sides of the line of scrimmage. The speed of Oregon was nullified and pretty much a non-factor. The one big play Oregon had offensively, Indiana blew the coverage in. So Indiana is real. Coach Cignetti is a top 5 coach in college football. I'm saying that right here. And they got a quarterback that's considered one of the best in all of college football. So that gives them a right to say that they're great as well. Look, I don't know where this came from, but I'm telling you right now, for all my people that's been talking about Indiana and talking trash, it's like back in the days in the neighborhood. You better watch your mouth. You better watch your mouth talking about Indiana, because these boys are for real, and you don't want to see them. I promise you that.
At all. Indiana 6-0, and the road ahead is nice and smooth. They don't have a ranked opponent left in the regular season. Roman Harper, the floor was yours. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right.
You want this, you got that. No way, watch